And good evening, and welcome to another edition of Sports Corner. My name is Ralph Williams. Those of you who are first time watchers of the program, it's great to have you on. We're here live on Facebook and YouTube. So I just wanted to let you know we're live. If you watch the ticket tape at the bottom of the screen, you will see where it says all the shows are live on YouTube and Facebook. And up above me here is my email address. If you have any comments or questions off the air that you didn't get a chance to address to me in regards to my shows, that is where you find it. All right. We're going to get ready. The comment section is wide open. So if you're interested and you have any comments, please make sure that you get into the comments section. It is wide open. All right, tonight we are going to talk about the whole NFL draft as a whole. We're also going to talk about who the Steelers draft. And we're going to talk about some of my picks that I had for the Steelers to pick in the draft, where they went. All right. And one of them is Daniel Faalele. I had the Steelers picking him in the second round, but he ended up going to the Ravens. And now the Ravens have a ton of beef on the lines and all across the board. It seems like John Harbaugh and his gang there in Baltimore. And here's what really bothers me. The thing that really makes me angry is when Mike Tomlin comes on and says, we need to worry about the Steelers, not other teams. Well, you know something, Mike? You better start worrying about other teams, because Baltimore just got beefier and bigger and stronger, and they're going to mow everybody over with the Steelers if you don't pay attention to what they drafted this week. They drafted a guy from Minnesota, 380, 6'8.5". Okay? This guy, Daniel Faalele, not only can he block on the line, he can run the ball when they need him to in a jumbo package. All right? They hand the ball off to him like William Refrigerator Perry. And then another time, he come out of his stance on the line, they threw the ball to him, and he threw the ball. And they've run a wildcat with this kid. So if I'm you, Mike Tomlin, I would not be sitting there going, we don't need to worry about other teams. Yes, you do. Because here's a team that's got beefier and stronger. Other than the Cleveland Browns, of course. They had Kevin Stefanski at the War Room by himself. All right? Now here's a guy who thought that his team's doo-doo didn't stink last year and comes walking out all strutting, like this is it here. And then all of a sudden lays an egg because they were predicted to go to the Super Bowl. That's how bad this was. All right? So, all right, next. I'm going to tell you the people I thought the Steelers were going to draft. I thought the quarterbacks were not going to be available, and I was wrong. All right? But they did get Kenny Pickett. They did get the quarterback that they wanted. There was ample opportunity for other teams to take these quarterbacks in the first round. They chose not to. Sam Howell from North Carolina, he slid all the way down to the 5th or 6th round. All right, Matt Corral slipped. Malik Willis slipped. Desmond Ridder went in the 3rd round as well, which I knew he was going to go in the 3rd round. I had him going to the Steelers in the 3rd round because I never thought the Steelers could get Kenny Pickett. All right? So there we are there. You're watching Sports Corner Special Draft Edition here tonight. Tuesday night will be on at 8 p.m. Same channels, live on YouTube and Facebook, as you see in the ticket tape at the bottom. At the top is my email address. You can email me anytime with your questions or comments about any of my shows that I am participating in or doing. All right. Also, I wanted to let you know that Sports Corner, we're having a special draft summit, which the baseball small market summit worked. So now we're going to have another summit. And this time, the summit's going to include, it's Joe Kuglis, who will be on tomorrow night or Tuesday night with the 412 podcast on Blog Talk Radio with Chris Fletcher and Dave Finoli. And they're going to have Joe on to talk about starting at 9 o'clock right after my show, Joe will be on to talk about the draft. But we're going to talk about the draft again on the full draft on our Draft Summit show on Thursday night, 10:15 p.m. My guests will be Joe Kuglis, Claudio Rosano, Scott Morganroth from the South Florida Tribune, and I'm working on getting Steve Balisari from the New England newspaper there as well to talk about the Patriots. All right, let's take a look. See, I had them taking Travis Jones in the first round. I had them taking Daniel Falala, Desmond Ridder, Kenneth Walker III. None of these guys came to the Steelers. None of them. All right. And they drafted none of my guys. All right. I had the Kobe Bryant. Bubba Bolden, I think, was even still sitting out there, I believe. But I'm not sure if he got signed as an undrafted free agent. We're going to quickly review the Steeler draft. Then we're going to go into the whole draft as a whole. All 7 rounds, each team, what they did. I'm going to make my comments, and you can leave your comments right here in the comments section. Every show right here on Facebook and YouTube. All right, Kenny Pickett was our first-round pick. Second pick was George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. I classify George Pickens as the next Hines Ward out of Georgia. This kid can block. He has a mean streak, and he can catch and run, so that's a good thing. Let's hope that the mean streak doesn't cause penalties, but I'm satisfied with George Pickens. Team him up with Chase Claypool, and you've got 2 wide receivers, Deontay Johnson, and also Calvin Austin III. Short, small wide receiver from Memphis, but I'm told he has a lot of speed, and I'm told that he can run fast. So we'll see. He's only 5'8.5". We'll find out what he can do as well. All right, in the 3rd round, they drafted DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle, Texas A&M. Now, many publications had this guy at number 1, okay? All right, so therefore, being that they had him at number 1, what had happened was the Steelers were able to get this guy in the 3rd round. The thing that deterred teams from taking this guy is there's rumors that he has issues with soft tissue problems. So if you don't know what soft tissue problems are, those are soft tissue muscles in your body, either in your arms or in your legs. Well, apparently he has them in both areas. So the story I'm hearing is that they are not, a lot of these scouts deterred away from drafting this guy. Well, the Steelers have, and they're going to need him because they still haven't gotten any word from Stephon Tuitt as to what he's doing. And Olawu, when no one knows what's going on with him, he's approaching 35 years old. He's got an ankle injury. He had to get surgery. Nobody knows if he's ready to go. He might retire because of his ankle. Nobody knows. So with those 2 mysteries, the Steelers had to go out and get a couple people. Calvin Austin III, wide receiver, Memphis, 4th round. Did not have a pick in the 5th round because we traded it for a 2nd, 7th round pick. Kevin Colbert, being this is his last draft, he's real good at doing some of this stuff. And I watched his press conference, and he's teared up. And, the interesting thing is Kevin Colbert, he's been around all these years with the Steelers. It's great that he's retiring. And the Steelers should be soon coming up with their general manager candidate. All right. Next, we have round 6, Connor Hayward, Cam Hayward's brother, tight end and H-back for Michigan State. He ate lunch at the Peach Bowl. Round 7A, Mark Robinson, linebacker, Ole Miss. Round 7B, Chris Olasdoko, quarterback, South Dakota State. Mike Tomlin, for some strange reason, said he was going to go into this training camp with 4 quarterbacks, which of course makes sense because you need a guy who you could put on a practice squad that nobody will touch, and therefore, and then also just in case somebody goes down, you have a quarterback. That's one thing I'll say. And one other thing you need to understand: this is the very first year, other than 2019, Ben Roethlisberger's injuries and occasional injuries here and there, and him taking games off because of COVID or something to that effect. Mike Tomlin has basically said that he wanted to go with 4 quarterbacks, but this time he's going with 4 quarterbacks, and he doesn't have a franchise quarterback to mess with this year. All right? I mean, this is going to be the very first year he does not have a franchise quarterback. He's had the luxury of the last 15 years of Ben Roethlisberger. Okay? All right. Let's talk about the undrafted free agents the Steelers signed, then we'll get into the draft. Running back, Mateo Durant, Duke. Running back, Jaylen Warren, Arizona State. Guard, Chris Owens, Alabama. He could play guard and center. All right, next, Jake Dixon. Duquesne. Wow. I heard today they signed a guy from Robert Morris. I'll get his name for you. I'll have it for you by Thursday or even Tuesday, because Tuesday we're going to go over this just a little bit, but we're not going to get as extensive into the draft as we are here. All right. Next, offensive tackle Jake Dixon out of Duquesne. Okay. Defensive tackle Donovan Jeter, Michigan. You know, Michigan always pumps out good players. I hope this guy's not a bum like someone else I know on our team, Devin Bush. Let's hope Devin Bush has a successful year this year. We'll find out what happens there. No Joe Schobert. He's gone. He's done. That was the worst free agent signing as rated by the NFL. All right, next, outside linebacker, Tyree Johnson, Texas A&M outside linebacker, T.D. Moultrie, Auburn, cornerback, Chris Steele, USC. They say this guy is a tweener. They thought that he was going to go somewhere. Offensive lineman Chris Tucker, offensive tackle, also. They signed as unrestricted free agents. And they are giving Trey Tipton from Pitt, wide receiver, been there for 7 years. They're giving him a tryout. They're going to try him out and see how he works out, Trey Tipton. All right, let's get into the draft. All right, let's start with round one. Edge rusher, Jacksonville. They took Javon Walker from Georgia. Detroit took Aiden Hutchinson, edge rusher. 2 edge rushers in a row. First time in a long time they said that this has happened in the draft, if at all. Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, edge rusher, goes to Detroit. He stays there. Houston goes with Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU. I was really surprised. I thought he might fall to the Steelers, but he did not, and therefore he has been drafted. But there's some weaknesses there. One of them, I'm told, and I read in a publication, that he has issues with injuries. So we'll let Houston deal with it, okay? I'm going to tell you what, Lovie Smith, the new manager or the new coach of the Houston Texans, he was really, really busy with the draft this year. You know, he made some trades. He went ahead and got some extra draft picks. He was really, really busy this year in the draft. All right, next, the New York Jets. Ahmad Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati. New York Giants, Cincinnati, Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan all had a lot of players drafted in this draft. And that's what happens when you go to the national championship playoff. Okay, those are the things that happen. All right. So, it unfortunately was Georgia and Alabama. Alabama beat Cincy, Georgia beat Michigan. So what I'm saying to you is, you know, when you go to the national championship game, your team has a lot of great athletes or they wouldn't be there. So what happens is being that they're doing that, that's why a lot of guys are drafted. All right, comment section wide open here. It's Sunday evening. I'd like to know where everybody is. I know in Pittsburgh here we had the marathon. That's over. I know some of you are tired, but if you still are up, you can watch some. You can catch me here on Facebook and YouTube. If you're at the airport, you can do the same thing before you get on your flight. You know, no excuse not to be here on this program commenting tonight about the NFL draft. I also want to remind everybody to please subscribe on my YouTube page and please like on my Facebook page. Next, New York Jets, Ahmad Gardner's cornerback, Cincy. New York Giants right afterwards. Kavon Thiabu, edge rusher, Oregon. Carolina took tackle Akeem Ikawo, all right, from North Carolina State. New York Giants took tackle Evan Neal from Alabama. Atlanta, Drake London. You know, like I see London, I see France. Oh, yeah. All right, Drake London, USC, Atlanta. All right, Seahawks took Charles Cross, tackle, Mississippi State. Several mock drafts had Steelers taken the Steelers taken Charles Cross from Mississippi State tackle. New York Jets, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State. New Orleans. Okay, New Orleans took Chris Olave, wide receiver from the Ohio State University. And I mean the Ohio State University. All right, Detroit took Alabama's Jameson Williams, Wide receiver, Philly took Georgia. Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. Baltimore, Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. My partner on my Sports Corner show, Smoking Jim Frazier, and he's going to be on with me again this Thursday at 8 p.m. on Block Talk Radio. Don't forget about my national show on Block Talk Radio. 347-205-9631 is the number to call for that show. Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. This week we talk sports. Next week we talk professional wrestling. Big audience. You can join in as well with your comments and by listening as well. We had 300 last week for wrestling, and our sports has always been a biggie as well. So I appreciate all the folks that listen into my show on Blog Talk Radio and those who tune into my shows at this time. All right, next, Houston guard. They took a guard, Kenyon Green from Texas A&M, Washington, Jahan Dotson, Penn State, wide receiver. A lot of Penn State players went in the draft, too. Pitt only had 2 that got drafted. Kenny Pickett and Damari Mathis. Cal Adonis, I don't know where he went yet. He's a long snapper. That is it for Pitt. They really don't have a whole lot going on this year with the draft. All right, L.A. Chargers guard, Zion Johnson, Boston College. Titans wide receiver, Traylon Burks, Arkansas. New Orleans once again, Trevor Penning, tackle, Northern Iowa. Another pick of Smoking Jim Frazier's who knew he would go in the first round, but that the Steelers should have looked at. I didn't think that the Steelers were going to trade up for him, but New Orleans drafted him in front of the Steelers anyway. And then, of course, we have the Steelers taking Kenneth Pickett from Pitt, quarterback. Also, Kansas City tackle, or cornerback, that's the wrong thing there. Green Bay taking Quay Walker, Georgia, linebacker from Georgia. Buffalo, Kier Elam, cornerback from Florida. Also, from Dallas, tackle Tyler Smith from Tulsa as their first-round pick. Baltimore took Tyler Lindenbaum, tackle, Iowa. Big kid. They took a bunch of big guys, everybody, and the Steelers need to be concerned because if these big guys come around this year, they're going to be mowing the Steelers over. Okay? All right? That's it right there in a nutshell for the Steelers. Okay? All right, next. The Jets took edge rusher Jermaine Johnson, Florida State, Jacksonville, linebacker. They took Devon Lloyd, Utah. Green Bay, Devontae Wyatt, Georgia, defensive tackle. New England, here we go, New England. Cole Strange from Chattanooga. Everybody's laughing at Bill Belichick, but you know what? He gets the last laugh every time, and that's just the way it is with him. He gets the last laugh, all right? And I'm sure it's a decent pick because New England picked up to get it, or picked down, up to get it, I'm sorry. KC, George Katavadis from Purdue. Let's see here. Cincinnati, Daston Hill, safety from Michigan. Minnesota took Lewis Dine, last pick in the first round. Lewis Sign, safety from Georgia as well. All right, round 2. We're now in round 2. Before we get to round 2, don't forget about Sports Corner every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We're going to be here. All shows are live on YouTube and Facebook. Take a look at the ticket take. Up above is my email. And also, your comments are here for tonight as you are watching Sports Corner Special Draft Show Edition. All right, we were about 10 minutes late tonight, and I apologize for that as well. I hate to be late, and I understand. Coming up next here on YouTube and Facebook with Ralph Williams is The Way I See It. All right. I got a lot going on with that tonight. We're going to have Chinese wisdom. On top of all that, too, we're going to have the Bonehead Blast, everything. It's a special 1-hour edition because Friday I had some technical problems. The whole weekend I had technical issues, but I got everything all fixed up and ironed out. And that's why we're here in the B studio of Studio 808. All right, we're in Studio B. All right, let's go to round 2. Tampa Bay, Logan Hall, defensive tackle. Houston. All right, Dana Hogerson's team, so I hope probably hit the bar when he was done at the end. He, he has a habit of doing that kind of stuff, hitting the bar and all that. So, so we'll just, we'll let him hit the bar. Yeah, there you go. All right. All right. There we are. I had to do that tonight with him. It's crazy. All right, next we got Green Bay. Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State. Tennessee picked up Roger Murray, cornerback. Uh, I'm not sure what school he went to. I'd have to look it up right now because I forgot to put it down, so we'll go from there. All right, New York Jets, Breece Hall, running back, Iowa State, Houston. Jalen Petrie from Baylor, safety. Next, Atlanta, edge rusher, Penn State's Arnold Akikati. All right, Arnold Akikati is the pick of Atlanta from Penn State. Chicago, we have Kyler Gordon from Washington. He's a cornerback. Next, Seattle, Boy Maffey from Minnesota, edge rusher for Seattle. Seattle had 2 picks in this round. Kenneth Walker, the second running back, Michigan State. I thought the Steelers might be able to get him, but of course, that's not always the case all the time either. So, but anyway, I thought they could get him, and they did not. Next, New York Giants, Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver. All right, so Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver for the New York Giants, and he is from Kentucky. Houston, once again, another pick for Houston. They racked up some picks with the trade for Deshaun Watson. Most of them are Cleveland's picks. John Mechie III, wide receiver, Alabama. Baltimore, David Ojabo, cornerback, Michigan. Let's see here. Detroit, Josh Paschal, defensive end. Kentucky, Washington, defensive tackle, Phildarius Mathis from Alabama. And your comments are welcome in the comments section. Please do not hesitate to do so. Washington, defensive tackle, Phidarian Mathis, Alabama. Chicago, Darikia Briscoe, Penn State, safety. The New Orleans Saints, Alontae Taylor, cornerback, Tennessee. New England, Tyquan Thornton, wide receiver, Baylor. Philly, Cam Turgis, center, Nebraska. He was he was rated in the top 10. He was last. He was number 10 in the top 10 in at least one publication. All right. Next, we have Pitt, the Steelers taking George Pickens from Georgia. All right. Next, we have Indianapolis taking Alex Pierce, wide receiver, Cincinnati. KC got Sky Moore, Western Michigan wide receiver. Congratulations to him. He's a local guy from Central Valley who is now going to be playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. Arizona, Trey McBride, tight end. Colorado State, Dallas, Sam Williams, edge rusher, Ole Miss. Tampa Bay, Luke Gitzi, tackle from Central Michigan. All right, Atlanta, Troy Anderson, linebacker, Montana State. I had him in my draft. Well, I was going to take him that I thought the Steelers might be able to pick. Comment section wide open here. Come on in if you want to comment on tonight's show. We are going over the NFL draft and who the Steelers drafted as well. All right, next, Minnesota in the second round. We're getting ready to clean up the second round. Guard from LSU, Ed Ingram. Cincinnati, Cam Taylor Britt is a cornerback from Nebraska. San Francisco, Drake Jackson, USC linebacker. Kansas City, Brian Cook, safety from Cincinnati. Buffalo, James Cook from, I believe, who is it, Georgia? Yeah, Georgia. And that's Buffalo's pick. And he is a running back, James Cook. And then last but not least, Denver linebacker, Nick Bonetto, Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley's old squad. And thinking of Lincoln Riley, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. We're not going to talk about it tonight. I'm not real happy about it, and I'm sure you're not either. But the Steelers are the Panthers have a couple issues they need to square away, and one of them is with Jordan Addison, and we will talk about that on Tuesday. You'll get my thoughts on that. Jacksonville took center Luke Fortner, Kentucky. Minnesota, they took Brian Asamoah, linebacker, Oklahoma. New York Giants took guard Joshua Zuzudu from North Carolina. Cleveland with their first pick of the draft. Martin Emerson, quarterback, Mississippi State. Then you have Tennessee. This is a tackle, Nicholas Pettit-Fritt from Oklahoma State. Jacksonville, once again up. Chad Muma, linebacker, Wyoming. Here's a guy that maybe could have dropped to the Steelers, and if he did, he was there, but we took Kenny Pickett. I mean, I thought maybe he could draft even in the second or third round. Chad Muma was put there for that. Chicago, wide receiver, Velus Jones from Velus Jones. Oh, from Penn State. Yeah. All right, Penn State, Seattle. Abraham Lucas, tackle, Washington State. Jelani Woods, tight end, Virginia. Atlanta, Desmond Ridder, quarterback. There you go. There's another quarterback that went in the draft. Desmond Ridder, third round. Cincinnati. Houston, Christian Harris, linebacker. Alabama. Baltimore. Yeah, see, here we go. Baltimore beefing up the beef. Defensive tackle Travis Jones from UConn, who I thought the Steelers were going to pick. But the Steelers made it clear they were going to take, in their first pick, a quarterback. But they didn't know they were going to get the number one quarterback. Well, they did. He fell right to them. And that's great to hear about Desmond Ridder getting a job with Baltimore. Or, I'm sorry, with, yeah. All right. That's all right. I lost my train. Oh, here we go. With Atlanta. And Atlanta down there, he'll learn with Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota is down there as well. And we'll see what happens there. All right. Next. Let's see here. Indianapolis, Bernard Raymond, tackle, Central Michigan. One publication had the Steelers taking him in this round, but he's gone already because the Steelers will be a while. Cleveland with another pick from Houston. L.B. Wright, UAB, defensive end. Los Angeles Chargers, J.D. Woods, safety. Let's see, Denver, Greg Dukasich, USC. Let's see here, the LA Chargers, the New York Giants. Let's see, you're up, Gordez Flot from LSU. All right, next is Atlanta, D'Angelo Malone. Atlanta went and got some picks. See, some of these new coaches like Minnesota and Houston, they all went and got all these different picks because they had to. All right, next, let's see. I'm sorry. Denver. Okay, Denver. They picked USC's Greg Dukasich, the tight end. Yeah, that's Denver. New York Giants, Cortez Flott, LSU, cornerback. Atlanta again, D'Angelo Malone, Western Kentucky, edge rusher. See, teams like Atlanta who had a bad year, they're stockpiling draft picks, and I don't blame them. All right, Philly, Nakobe Dean, Georgia, linebacker. Steelers, DeMarvin Leo, and we know all about him. New England, let's see here, Marcellus Jones, Houston cornerback, Marcellus Jones. All right, next is Tennessee Titans have taken third round Liberty. Yeah, Liberty University has picked up, or from Liberty, Malik Willis will be at Tennessee. He's going to be a Titan. Arizona, next year, they had Camp, and then they had one other thing here. Dallas, Jalen Tolliver, wide receiver, Southern Alabama. All right, Buffalo. Let's see here. Buffalo, linebacker Terrar Bernard from Baylor. Las Vegas Raiders, their first pick of the draft. Dylan Parham, guard, Minnesota. Raheed White, running back, Arizona, Green Bay. tackle Dean Ryan from UCLA, Green Bay's tackle. San Francisco, Terrion Davis, running back LSU, Carolina, Matt Corral. Next quarterback to go besides all these quarterbacks seem to have slid to this round, which is the third round. And then let's see here. All right, Matt Corral, who drafted by Carolina, quarterback of Ole Miss. All right, how did I miss this stuff here? Oh, okay, that's Ryan Clark, I think. Yeah, no, it's not Ryan Clark. What am I talking about? Oh well, it's what happens when you're brain dead or when your brain is empty. All right, Nick Cross, safety, Maryland. All right, Detroit safety, Carrick Joseph, Illinois. All right, next is Washington wide receiver, Whit Robinson, wide receiver, and that's with next Cleveland, David Pill, Purdue, and he is a wide receiver. Arizona edge rusher Maja Sanders, Cincinnati. New York Jets tight end Jeremy Reckert and Amy and Miami have stayed to the river. They haven't been out all day, so I know that's probably haven't had a chance to really look at things. Detroit or New York Jets Butler. I'm sorry, New York Jets Jerry Reckert, Ohio State. Miami with their first pick of the draft. Congratulations. They took Larry, or I'm sorry, linebacker Shanif Lindell Tyndall or whatever. They should have took him. LA Rams, they logged out. So the next one is guard from Wisconsin. LA Rams, Logan. The Rams, that's their pick. San Fran picks Danny Ray, SMU. That's the final pick of the third round. Now we're going to get into the round four. All right, round four of the draft. We're going over the whole NFL draft here. Don't forget the comment section for your comments. Hang on just a moment here. I got something on my phone here. And it looks like, it looks like we're going to have to postpone the way I see it tonight. We'll have it on Monday for you at the 9:35 start time. Excuse me, actually 8 o'clock start time. Tomorrow night, we're going to reschedule it once again. I'm sorry, I have a situation I have to take care of after I'm done with the show here, so we need to do that. Next up, round four, Tampa Bay took Cade Oden, tight end, Washington. Houston took Damian Pierce, running back, Florida. Cleveland, Perry and Winfrey, defensive tackle, Oklahoma. Seattle, Kobe Bryant, cornerback, Cincinnati. I thought the Steelers could have got him, or that was one of the ones. Here's the other one. Daniel Falali, tackle, Minnesota. Max Mitchell, tackle, Louisiana. Daniel Bellinger, tight end, San Diego State. Percy Butler, safety, Louisiana. Dane Belton, safety, Iowa. Demarius Mathis, cornerback, Pitt. Congratulations to him. He will be going to the Denver Broncos. Dane Belton was drafted by the Giants. Washington took Percy Butler. New York Giants took Daniel Bellinger. They had several picks in the second round. Next pick for Denver, Exuma Wallace-Spiriaki, defensive tackle, Iowa. New York Jets took Michael Clemens, defensive end, Texas A&M. Minnesota, Malik Cabise Evans, cornerback, Missouri. And Baltimore, last but not least, of course, probably burned up the whole campfire. Javi Armar Davis, cornerback, Alabama, for Baltimore. All right, next, Carolina, Brandon Smith, linebacker, Penn State. All right, next we have comment sections. Imagine if the Chiefs used Leo Chanel like that Michael Parsons rule. That would be deadly. Yes, it would be. It definitely would. Leo Chenal. The interesting thing about this, James, is I thought he might have gone. He should have gone earlier, but we'll see what happens there. But he was there for a little bit, and we'll go from there with that. Kansas City should be a better football team with him. New England, Jack Jones, cornerback, Arizona State, Zamir White, Las Vegas Raiders. There you go, James. You asked me about Las Vegas Raiders. Running back from Georgia. He's a good running back. Of course, he comes from Georgia. And not only just that, James, he's also very good. I think he'll be an added fit for Las Vegas and Josh McDaniels, their new head coach. The Los Angeles Chargers. Isaiah Spiller, running back, Texas A&M. Now, Cleveland here. They go out and get a kicker, Cade York, kicker LSU. Good luck with that, Cleveland. I hope you have. Just because I'm wearing a shirt, that don't mean I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. No sense of the imagination. All right, anyway, Miami, Eric Ezukanima, wide receiver, Texas Tech. Welcome, Miami. They didn't have any picks at all until now. All right, Las Vegas Raiders traded this pick, and that's next on the clock is New England. Pierre Strong, running back, South Dakota State. Charles Tolar, tight end, Iowa, goes to Baltimore. There's another good receiving tight end. Baltimore's really building it up. Look out, Steelers. Look out. Cleveland, I don't care about Cleveland. They're a waste. I don't think they're going to ever win anything. I'm not sure exactly why, but I don't know why they're going to win if they don't win everything. Pierre Strong to the New England Patriots, running back, South Dakota State. And Baltimore, I already said Baltimore. Jake Ferguson, tight end, Wisconsin. All right, Jordan Stout, punter, Penn State, Baltimore. Baltimore, I told you they stacked up draft picks here in the second round. They're doing a real good job with it as well. Also, all right, next is Baltimore. Oh, yeah, I already said Tennessee again. Hassan Haskins, running back. Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver, Nevada. Tampa Bay, Jake Larda, punter from Georgia. Wow, everybody, including the punters, even getting drafted from Georgia. San Francisco, Spencer Buford, tackle, University of Texas, El Paso, Joshua Williams, cornerback, Fayetteville State, Cordell Volson, tackle, South Dakota State. Bailey Zappi, quarterback, Western Kentucky, to New England. Wow, New England really loading up on quarterbacks. Picks before that, Cincinnati, KC, and San Francisco. Steelers, they take Calvin Houston III, wide receiver from Memphis, Isaiah Likely, tight end, Coastal Carolina for Baltimore, and also the Los Angeles Rams have picked Jacoby Durant, cornerback, South Carolina. Tennessee, Shibusi Okakini, and he's from Maryland. He's a tight end. Zach Tom, tackle, Wake Forest. Demarius Williams, let's see here. Oh, cornerback from the University of Houston. All right, that's all round 4. Coming up, we're going to go over round 5, 6, and 7. I'll make my comments as we go. It's a great night here in the city, and I hope you're listening, tuning in, or watching Sports Corner podcast. We're talking about the NFL draft. We're in round 5 now of the NFL draft. Next, Sam Howard finally got drafted in the 5th round here for Washington Commanders. I'm sorry, the Commanders. Okay, next, KC, Kansas City, Darinka Kennard, guard, Kentucky. Next, New York Giants, Micah McFadden, linebacker, Indiana. New York Giants, DJ Davidson, defensive tackle, Arizona State. Khalil Shakar, wide receiver, Boise State. But to Buffalo. Washington, Cole Turner, tight end, Nevada. Houston has picked Thomas Booker, defensive tackle, Stanford. Atlanta, Tyler Algieri, running back, BYU. Denver, DeCarron Terradis, Safety, Oklahoma. Yep, there we go. Seattle, Tarek Mobley, cornerback. University of Texas, El Paso. All right, next, Philly has not Snoop Dogg, but Snoop Connor, running back from Ole Miss. Dallas, Matt Watisku, offensive tackle. North Dakota State. Jerome Ford, he's a good running back. I've seen him play. I was hoping the Steelers could get him, but they can't. So, they probably could have, but who knows. All right, next, Matt Walters, or Walasico, offensive tackle, North Dakota State. All right, let's see here. Jerome Ford, Zion McCullum, cornerback, Sam Houston, Tyreek Smith, edge rusher. Edge rusher there from Ohio State, and that is Seattle. All right, next, Indy. They took defensive tackle Eric Johnson. Next, let's see here. Next, we have Eric Johnson's defensive tackle from Missouri State. L.A. Chargers takes Otio Okomensa, LSU defensive tackle. New Orleans takes DeMarco Jackson, linebacker, Appalachian State. Denver takes Montreal Washington, wide receiver from Samford. You know who used to coach at Samford? No one knows this. Mark Whipple. Or I'm sorry, not Mark Whipple, Bruce Arians. He used to coach at Samford. When Bill Cowher hired him, that was where he was. He was at Samford University, and now they have somebody in the draft this year, Montreal Washington from Samford. All right, next, Kyle Phillips, wide receiver to Tennessee, UCLA, Los Angeles Rams, Kyrene Williams, running back, Notre Dame, Minnesota, Azia Otomino, edge rusher, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Tylen Anderson, safety, Toledo, Dallas, Teron Bland, cornerback, Fresno State, Chicago, Braxton Jones, offensive tackle, Southern Utah, Minnesota, running back, Ty Chandler, North Carolina, and Houston with another compensatory pick or something like that. Tight end, Tegon Odawama, and he went to Oregon State. Denver, center, Luke Watsonberg. Washington, San Francisco, Samuel Waddell, cornerback, Toledo. All right, next, Marcus McKethan, guard, North Carolina. Chicago, linebacker, Dominique Robinson, Miami of Ohio. There we go. Miami of Ohio, I don't think it's been in around since Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, I know. I don't think that's a true case, but it could be. I mean, you never know. It really could be. So, yeah, that's it. There you go. All right. All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay, here we go. James Mitchell, tight end, Virginia Tech to Denver. All right. And then we have, again, John Ridgeway, defensive tackle, Arkansas. Kingsley Finabuku, linebacker for the South Carolina Gamecocks. All right, next we have round 6 coming up. Let's go over some more of the draft here. We're in round 6. Comment section's wide open. You could be like James and get on and comment about the show. Comment about anything you want to comment about right here on YouTube and Facebook. Don't forget all shows, as you see in the ticket taker at the bottom of the screen, all shows are live on YouTube and Facebook. Up above me is my email address as well. All right, let's move on. Buffalo took punter Matt Arezia, punter San Diego State. Philly, Kyrene Johnson, linebacker, Kansas. All right, let's see here. New York Giants, Demarion Beaver, Cincinnati. Let's see here. Kevin Harris, New England, running back, South Carolina Gamecocks. Minnesota, Vidarian Lowe, Illinois Illini, offensive tackle. I'm surprised Kendrick Green didn't recommend some of these guys that were drafted to the Steelers. I guess they're not all that great, or Kendrick Green had no idea they were coming through, one or the other. But anyway, Buffalo Christian, Benford, Villanova. Wow, Villanova. Where have they been in football? Nowhere, that's where. All right, next. Chicago, Zach Thomas, guard, San Diego State. San Francisco, Nick Nazakepith, defensive tackle, Fordham. Fordham University. Whoa, that's crazy. Fordham University. So anyway, Detroit, Malcolm Rodriguez, linebacker, Oklahoma State, Carolina, Amari Barno, edge rusher, Virginia Tech, uh, Justin Schaefer from Georgia, guard for Atlanta, Minnesota, wide receiver, Jalen Naylor, Michigan State, Indianapolis, tight end Andrew Ogletree, Youngstown State, Dallas, linebacker, Devlin Harper, Oklahoma State, New Orleans, Jordan Jackson, defensive tackle, Air Force, Los Angeles Chargers, Jamari Jalla, guard, Georgia, Baltimore, Tyler Batchett, Missouri, running back, Jacksonville. What's this here? Oh, cornerback. Yeah, I remember this one. Gregory Jr. and Aves Baptist. Number next. I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, Greg Turner, cornerback, Quachari Baptist Church or Baptist School. All right. Next is Philadelphia. Grant Calacairn, tight end CMU, or I'm sorry, SMU. Wow. Carolina, guard. Cade Mays, Tennessee. New England, defensive tackle. Sam Roberts, Northeast Missouri. Arizona. Let's see here. Arizona. Wow, I just saw him too. Wait a minute. Let me make sure we're all set here. Guard. All right, yeah, here we go. All right, now we're in the right place. Kate Mays, guard, Tennessee. New England, Sam Roberts, defensive tackle, Northwestern Missouri, same setup as Daniel Falula. Arizona, Kenyon Ingram, USC running back. And then we have Cleveland with a wide receiver, Michael Woods, Oklahoma. Chicago, Treston Ebner, running back, Baylor. And all right, let's flip this over. And we're going to a round 6 prayer. Sorry, folks. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry about all that. Oh, by the way, Tristan Ebner, Chicago, running back, Baylor. Tennessee, Theo Jackson, safety, Tennessee. Houston, Austin DeKessis, offensive tackle, LSU. Denver, Matt Hannigan, defensive tackle, Wisconsin. Chicago's Doug Kramer, center, Illinois. I'm surprised Steelers didn't get recommended for him by Kendrick Green either. All right, next we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, Connor Hayward, H-back tight end, Michigan State, Buffalo, Luke Tenuta, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Chasen Hines, LSU, the LA Rams, Quentin Lake, safety, USCLA, and we have LA Rams with some compensatory picks, Darian Kendrick, cornerback, Georgia, and then we also have Atlanta picking John Fitzpatrick, tight end, Georgia. Los Angeles Chargers, Shazir Taylor, cornerback, Wake Forest. Arizona, Lectis for Smith. He's a guard, Arizona from Virginia Tech. All right, let's get into Indy's pick. Curtis Brooks, defensive tackle, Cincinnati for Indy. Detroit, James Houston from Jackson State. Tailback, Jackson State, linebacker. Detroit, as you know, Jackson State, coached by Hall of Famer Deion Sanders. So, there you are with that as well. All right, we're approaching 9 o'clock. We're here till about 10 after 9. I was late getting on our 9:35. The way I see it, show has been postponed until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Due to I have a family situation I need to take care of, so we're going to be off the air tonight after this show. All right, next we have Luke Tenuta, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. Yeah, hold on, I'm getting. Let's see, New England, Chasen Hines, center, LSU. Uh, Los Angeles Rams again, 4 picks in this round, almost maybe more. Quentin Lake, UCLA, and then they get Darian Kendrick, Georgia. Atlanta, John Fitzpatrick, tight end, Georgia. Los Angeles Chargers, Jazir Taylor. All right, Jazir Taylor, cornerback, doesn't want to play for Wake Forest, but he's going to have to. Wake Forest will have to put on those cheap hats that they normally wear if they're broke. Arizona, Lextus Smith, guard, Virginia Tech, Curtis Brooks. All right, next we have defensive tackle from Cincinnati, Curtis Brock. We have see Curtis Brock. All right, next. Okay, there we are. Next, Detroit, James Houston, and tailback is Coy Kent. Let's see here. He's from tight end from Minnesota. Tennessee, Chan. All right, next linebacker, Ole Miss, Clarence Stevenus. All right, Kalia Davis, UCF, University of Central Florida. Kalia Davis has been drafted by San Francisco. Tennessee linebacker Shanice Sandbeck, Ole Miss linebacker, and then Co Carrot, tight end Minnesota. San Francisco, Tarek Castro, cornerback for the Penn State Nittany Lions. All right, now we're going to go into round 7. As we go here, we're going to go into round 7 right now. All right. So here we go. Okay, round 7. Jacksonville took Montaigne Brown, cornerback, Arkansas. Cleveland Browns took Isaiah Thomas in the 7th round, edge rusher, Oklahoma. Miami took Cameron Good, edge rusher, California. Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of their picks that they traded to get from the Jets. They gave him a 5th round pick. Mark Robinson, linebacker, Ole Miss. Chicago Bears from the Bengals via the Giants. Jatril Carter, guard, Southern University. Las Vegas Raiders, the home crowd. And James, I believe you were asking me about the Raiders. Well, the Raiders just took in the 7th round Nick Muse, tight end, South Carolina. And then we have Green Bay here. They took Tariq Carpenter, linebacker, Georgia Tech. Seattle, Bo Meldon. I would have loved to have seen the Steelers take Bo Meldon. He's a good wide receiver. Seattle Seahawks, but that's fine. The Commanders of Washington, Chris Paul, guard, Tulsa. All right, next, Buffalo picked up Palin Spector from Clemson. Denver Broncos, Fayon Hicks, cornerback, Wisconsin, from Denver Broncos. Seattle next with pick 233. They took Tyreek Young, wide receiver, Lanier Ryan, college. Green Bay Packers from the Broncos and the Lions. Jonathan Ford, defensive tackle, Miami. Los Angeles Rams from the Buccaneers and the Jaguars via the Ravens. Daniel Hardy, edge rusher, Montana State. Next, Los Angeles Chargers. Deion Leonard, cornerback, Ole Miss. Detroit Lions. Charles Lucas, cornerback, Arizona State. Las Vegas Raiders, Rams via the Dolphins. This pick was from pick 238. Thayer Mumford, offensive tackle, Ohio State. Indianapolis picks 239 in the 7th round. They took Rodney Thomas, safety from Yale. Wow. Yale's even getting into the picture now. All right, so there we are. Next, Washington Commanders. They are picking Christian Holmes, cornerback, Oklahoma State. Pittsburgh Steelers took Chris Oladutukin, quarterback. I'm sorry. South Dakota State. Carolina Panthers. Kayon Barnes, cornerback, another Baylor Bear. Baylor Bears also in there too. Your comments are welcome here. So we're getting ready to wrap up shortly as soon as we finish up the 7th round. This is Sports Corner and the NFL Draft Show, where we're doing NFL Draft review and wrap up. And what we're going to do is on Thursday, 10:15, NFL Draft Summit coming up 10:15 Thursday night. You know where to find us. We're right here on YouTube and Facebook Live every time. All right, and that is at 10:15 p.m. Okay, next, Carolina Panthers. They pick Kalen Barnes, cornerback, Baylor. Kansas City Chiefs pick Jalen Watson, cornerback, Washington State. A lot of cornerbacks went in these late rounds. I know the one round there were a ton of them that went like one after the other. I think once one position goes, everybody figures they might as well pick a pick, so it goes like that. It's been this draft has been really a strange draft between the trades and all the different positions that have been drafted. Arizona Cardinals, Christian Matthew, defensive back, Valdosta State. Wow. Boy, I tell you, you know it's over when you get to Valdosta State. New England, Andrew Stuber, guard, Michigan. Cleveland, Dawson Deaton, center. Miami, Skylar Thompson, quarterback, Kansas State. There's a guy who was in the top 20. I think it was like number 12 or something. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Audrey Anthony. Hey, I tell you what, I got a real good joke for you. Why did Bruce Arians quit at step down head coach at Tampa Bay? Because he wanted to go back Horn, and it was a Buccaneer. It was a Buccaneer. Oh my, it was a Buccaneer. There you go. You gotta love it, because I do. Because I love every minute of it. There we are. All right. Your comments are welcome in the comments section. Also, don't forget about that as well. All right. Next, Green Bay Packers, Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle, Penn State. I thought the Steelers were going to take some guys from Penn State. They took Freiermuth last year. Penn State got good athletes every year. Las Vegas, Raiders take Britton Brown, running back, UCLA. He's a good running back. I saw some film on him. Kansas City Chief, Isaiah Pacheco, running back, Rutgers. That's 2 from the Scarlet Knights. Wow. Cincinnati Bengals, Jeffrey Gunther, edge rusher, Coastal Carolina. I like Coastal Carolina. You know why? Because they pump out some good athletes for a small school. Los Angeles Rams, Russ Yeast. Wow. You got Rust, and then you got Yeast. All right. Los Angeles Rams, Russ Yeast. Safety, Kansas State Bears, Elijah Hicks. Safety, California, University of California. Bears, compensatory pick, Trenton Gill. Punter, NC State. Yes, NC State down there in Raleigh, my second city. I love every minute of it down there. Arizona Cardinals, compensatory pick, Jesse Lukita, linebacker, Penn State. Arizona Cardinals, Marquise Hayes, guard, Oklahoma. Green Bay Packers, Samori Toure, wide receiver, Nebraska. Kansas City Chiefs, Nazia Johnson, safety, Marshall. Los Angeles Chargers, Xander Horvath, fullback, Purdue. Los Angeles Rams, compensatory pick, A.J. Curry, offensive tackle, Michigan State. San Francisco 49ers, there we go. One of the quarterbacks I like, but I really didn't have him on a list, but I thought he might be there for the Steelers, but the Steelers didn't take him. Brock Purdy, quarterback, Iowa State. And that completes our coverage of the NFL Draft right here on Sports Corner. I am Ralph Williams. This is Sports Corner. And don't forget, Tuesday night, 8 p.m., right here, all shows live on YouTube and Facebook. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the way I see it. The reason for that is because tonight's episode is canceled due to I have a situation I have to take care of after I'm finished doing this show. Which I'll explain to you on the way I see it. I'm having some situations here in the building, and I have to take care of something. So I have to do it right after the show. Yeah, it's a big time problem. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, which team do you think came out good? What grade do you give the Steeler draft? I think they get a B. They didn't do a bad job with their draft this year. They addressed most of the needs that they have to address, especially at wide receiver. I'm Ralph Williams. This has been Sports Corner live draft show. We talked about the NFL draft tonight. Your comments are always welcome, but we're getting ready to shut things down here on Sports Corner. Always catch my shows live here on YouTube and Facebook. Except for Thursday night, we're national on Blog Talk Radio. Myself, Mark Mancini's the Black and Gold Sports Podcast, and it starts at 8 p.m. 347-205-9631. And don't forget Saturday nights at 5 p.m. PCTV Channel 21, the way I see it, on a rotating schedule, and every Saturday, Sports Corner, 5 p.m. I am Ralph Williams. Good night and be safe.